Welcome, fellow Southern Cameroonians, and welcome Cameroonians as a whole. For those who watch me who are from Cameroon at home and abroad, I want to welcome you to this platform, the People's Platform. My name is Capo Daniel. I am the chairman of the People's Right Advocacy Platform. Today, we are going to dive deep into what has been happening in the conflict between the Anglophones and the South Francophones led government in Cameroon, the people of Ambazonia and the central government of Cameroon. So, for the past month, I have made available to the public irrefutable evidence that shows Cameroon military providing weapons to the ADF that I used to work with through myself. So this is not a second hand, this is not a hearsay. I can assure our people that are watching me now, both Francophones and Anglophones, that it is very important that we walk through the facts and the truth in what is happening in Cameroon, where Anglophones are dying, Francophones are dying, the military are being killed every day. But there are some people that are bent to make sure that the war continue because the war have evolved into an economic business for some people down there and even some people out here. So it's important that we establish the facts so that our people can be able to make the right decisions and that the politicians that are considering to push for the proper solution should be able to have the boldness to go ahead. So for the past 2 years, we have been able to have unprecedented access to the Cameroon leadership to make our case directly to them and also to advance a collective consensus document called the Peace Plan Paper, which was a vision that I have as a chairman of PRAP, that we have come up to have a concession to make sure that we end this war. And there are a lot of intricacies along the way, and there are issues that are very paramount that are being discussed even during this period. One of which is the evidence I brought about Cameroon Army providing weapons to Ambazonian fighters. Cameroon Army provide weapons to Ambazonian fighters, in particularly in Mezam. It is not just happening in Mezam. I have evidence. I have participated in some of those exchanges where the Cameroon military men, they sell weapons to us to use those weapons to fight against them. And this is something that is widespread. I have last month, as I said, provide irrefutable evidence of some of those transactions while withholding the pictures or the names of those Cameroon military men that are involved for strategic reasons that are obvious. Now, the Cameroon military attaché, Kunda Titus, who is the main propagandist of the Cameroon military, have come up with a video in response to those evidence that I've made public to challenge me. And I'm going to address the video shortly. And I welcome every challenge. These are the facts that are going on now. 80% or over the bullets in particular that are used in Mezam are coming from the Cameroon Army. 80%. The most active group in Mezam are the ADF and the Bafut 7 Kata, which have merged now. They are all the ADF. 80% of the bullets that they use come from the Cameroon military. Because how do I know this? When I was the deputy defense chief, I knew that more than 80% of the bullets that our soldiers were using were being provided by the Cameroon Army for trade. They don't just provide it because they want us to go and fight their colleagues. They provide those weapons, those bullets, in exchange for money. They sell those bullets. How do the Cameroon military get this bullet? I have a very good idea based on my conversation with some of those individuals who have provided those bullets that I can't share with the public. But what I can tell the public is that sometimes the Cameroon military officers, they deliberately go out and fire their weapons in the air to justify preserving some of those bullets to end up sell them back to the Ambazonian fighters. So the more they have incidents on the ground, that requires them to discharge their weapons, the more they can have ways to steal bullets and provide those bullets to us to use those bullets. So each time an Ambazonian soldier Ambazonian fighter attack the Cameroon military or carry out an incident, it is more money. It's more money. Sometimes the Cameroon military who are involved in these issues, because of the need of money, ask the Ambazonian fighters to go out there and kidnap people. Sometimes they even point out people to be kidnapped. Go and kidnap this one and take money and bring the money. Because they are now relying on those money, those sales for building their houses. You know, the Cameroon military are one of the cheapest people on earth. They pay them like peanuts. So they sometimes force those boys to kidnap people to give them money. Sometimes they even participate in those kidnapping. We have seen videos of Cameroon militiamen breaking into businesses in Victoria, that is Limbe, to steal from people, to rob from people. We have seen those incidents. You have the Kunda Titus, who also created a fake story about being raped by Ambazonian fighters on his backside, as you people know, like a gay type of rape. And he claimed that is his motivation for him to fight against the Ambazonian fighters. We know that is lies because, one, there have been zero incident for the past 9 years of any Ambazonian fighters engaged in homosexual rape. It has not happened. They have never used those type of tactics before. Yes, we had the one in Bambui where the ADF had a rape case, but rape as a tool of war have not been used by the Ambazonian forces as a policy. There have been incidents in the ADF that we have seen that rape was used, and we saw that the leadership of the ADF didn't do anything. I think it's incompetent. They are just people who are not responsible. But that does not mean that anybody in Ambazonia is using rape. On the other hand, the Cameroon military have well-documented use of mass rape that have been documented by credible international organizations as a tool of war. So that is the difference between our people and the Cameroon government. One thing you have to know about Kunda Titus, he's a very shrewd person. This is the person who is as cold-blooded as an animal. Kunda Titus and his network were responsible to instigate the Cameroon government to burn the Bangui-Bamenda quarter when Diongote visited Bamenda and there was an incident where the Ambazonian fighters attacked his convoy. They instigated it. You have Padi Asanga who went on national TV and called for the burning of Bangui Road, the houses of people, claiming that there were Amazonian fighters hiding in those houses. Over 18 houses were burned down. It was recorded by the Human Rights Watch. On forced basis, our population videotaped those burnings. So these are people who are perpetrating the excesses that we have seen from the Cameroon government. We saw even when Mami Appiah was burnt alive, they came up to cover up it and made up story. Even Bebe Mata, who was executed and there were videos, they brought in this guy Kawa Kawa to come and lie that it was Ambazonian fighters, they should check the bullet and try to create all those type of fog so that the perpetration of war crime should go on. Not only that, we have seen people who make comments in support of Ambazonian self-determination, sometimes not even supporting even the armed struggle. These people will tag them as combatants, set them up to be arrested and killed by the Cameroon military. Thousands of people have been disappeared as a result of Kunda Titus activities. We even saw people who have worked with him like Success Nkongo, whose cousin in Boya was targeted simply because of a different in opinion as they drift apart. So we have seen such activities by Kunda Titus, and I want you people to know them for who they are. But as we push for cessation of hostilities, there will be some type of a cessation of propagandists as well. So the dialogue does not only include the Cameroon government, the army, it has several sections. So this is some kind of my exchange with Kunda Titus as well that is being played out in this manner. Of course, when he made that challenge to me, I responded to him personally, but I'm also responding to him publicly because I am accountable to the public as well. So remember that these are people who had previously staged the barrier of a girl, a fake barrier, to tag Ambazonian soldiers as cannibals, as people who are primitive, who goes to learn to do this type of things. They did that before they tried to stage those things, and those same people, we saw them in the Grand National Dialogue. And these are people who are working directly with Kunda Titus DDR Center. DDR Center is a propaganda center where they process intelligence to fight their war. It is nothing to do with rehabilitation of soldiers. Kawa Yanik is an example for people to look back and see him begging money after years and years in that their fake system. So make no mistake about these people. These are not people who are there for the population. Several times he has come and articulate that the Cameroon military should attack the population. But I must acknowledge that recently, oh, my suit is here, that recently he has changed his tune. And I think it is as a result of my changing in position that have also enabled him to change his tune. And he has acknowledged certain things that he didn't acknowledge before. The last time he acknowledged that civilian casualties have been higher and have been we suffer civilian casualties from the Cameroon military. So nevertheless, I will go to the video in question and I'll address this video. And it's important for our people to know one thing. First, the evidence I have provided of Cameroon military providing weapons to the ADF through me at that time is irrefutable. The soldier who received those weapons is Pastor Emma, who was the commander of the tanker unit. Those weapons were used against the Cameroon military in Bamenda. Those are facts. So in response to these facts, Kunda Titus did not dispute these facts. It is an ongoing thing. But he put this video out, which I'm going to play so that I'll address it in front of everybody. When you see me saying I'm going to play a video and it takes time, is because I have to use my computer to do that. For those who might be wondering at the home, what is this guy doing? He says video is not appearing. Here we go.
Where do you live?
At Yaoundé, Tougebe.
What do you do in life?
Construction.
And what is your mission here in Goa?
I was to come and pick up some arms for the Ambazonians in Yaoundé.
So this, now the Kunda Titus, he respond to the fact that the Cameroon army is providing weapons to Ambazonian fighters. They provide weapons, as I said, those weapons are used back in Bamenda in particular. I have been involved in multiple transactions with the Cameroon military, including them providing bullets to General Efang camp in Batibo. So now this is Kunda Titus' response. This is a Southern Cameroonian that was arrested in 2019 for picking up weapons in an undercover investigation that was made by the Kunda Titus and the Cameroon military. They tricked him and they arrested him. So let me play the video so that you hear, and I'm gonna respond to this video.
What we did?
So that we could go and kill gendarmes.
Have you been here before? In Douala?
Maybe years ago, some years ago.
Have you did this type of missions before?
Yes, I have.
This is the number. How many times you're doing the mission?
The second time, sir.
So I don't know the extent to which Kunda Titus was involved in this particular operation, but he seems to claim that he was involved in this operation. Based on the video that they have produced, which looks credible to an extent, because we know the man is under duress, there may be some exaggeration, there may be some inaccuracy that he will say to make sure that he survived and stuff like that. But observing from his body action and everything, this story is credible, and based also on small things that I've come across, it is really plausible that this is a verified claim. But we will take what Kunda Titus says about his involvement in this issue with a pinch of salt. So one, facts. This guy has previously picked up weapons in Douala and supplied it to the ADF. You know, I established a network in Douala and Yaoundé to carry out sabotage operations. Those operations, I used to call them fire brigade. And since we declared cessation of hostility, we decided to put a pause with all of our activities to carry out sabotage in Cameroon. because we realized early on, I realized that this war is being fought on our territory. The Cameroon civilians, the Francophones in particular, they look at it from a distance and they feel comfortable because there was nothing happening there. So I took a decision that we have to make the Francophones to feel the pain of this war. And we organized the dark forces to carry out sabotage operations within Cameroon that are linked to the war effort so that the Cameroon people in Yaoundé, the Francophone zones, they will feel the pain. We had several operations that were on the pipeline, huge operations that I put out there that we didn't carry out. First, we carried out a sabotage operation in the electric grid in Douala, knocking out electricity in Douala. We can do that in a massive scale. We have the capacity to do that in a massive scale, to carry out attack against Cameroon electric poles, their electric grid. We have huge amount of Ambazonian combatants who are in Yaoundé, Douala, and in their major cities. We had the potential of materials that we already buy, this welding material, we already buy the portable one, to be able to cut down the Cameroon railway network. We already had that plan and everything ready to go. In Douala, we had the capacity to burst the pipe that transport fuel from Sonera. We have all those capacity. We had the capacity to burn down the fuel tankers in Cameroon to cripple the Cameroon economy. These are all capacity that the PRAP military wing, the dark forces have. We have well documented these operations. We have agents on the ground who can execute these operations. We can bring Cameroon to its knee. We have also experimented with the use of drone to be able to drop materials in give in any deposit where they have established those are things in Dian. These are operations that we worked before with some group there with General Transporter before his be of late, but we were still in the stages of experimenting it with some Nigerians from the Biafra movement when I was still working with the Yabacho. So these are capacity that we have, that I have decided that are under my control. I can decide that let us go back to war if that comes to the point, and we will bring Cameroon to its knees within 1 month. We don't need a lot of money. Within 1 month, with less than 100,000, I can bring Cameroon to its knees. Understand that? So this guy previously had collected weapons from Douala, delivered those weapons to Ambazonian fighters. Now it is not clear whether Kunda Titus twists the story to say that it was a planned act operation that they did to entrap this guy and pick him up. But from what he is saying, he has collected weapons from Douala, delivered those weapons to Yaoundé. I wouldn't want to talk about what I know about these cases, but let us watch the video.
First time, how did you do it?
I picked up a package in Bamenda. I picked up 2 bags, and a man called Kingston was to send me some money. He sent me some money. I picked up the bags. I went to Yaoundé. I deposed it at a place at Hawaii Escalier, and someone picked it.
Where is the Kingston?
I don't know.
Who sent you the?
So Kingston is an Ambazonian activist who is involved in self-defense. He sent this guy. The guy doesn't know the Kingsley. He has never met him. They just met on social media because it is through social media that we prosecute this war. They arranged a program, send this guy to Bamenda. He picked 2 bags, transport those bags to Yaoundé, drop the bag somewhere, and other agents pick up those weapons for use in Yaoundé. That is what happened already, successfully.
Is it Kingston himself or different person?
No, a different person.
And who gave you the bag, the package you took in Bamenda?
It was left at Mezam. The bags were left at Mezam.
Are you still in contact with the person who sent you the bag in such a way that you can have some?
Kingston.
Kingston is the one who sent you the money.
Yeah, he sent me the money.
Who gave you the bag?
No, they didn't give.
Contact with the person.
No, they didn't give me by hand. They put the bags in front of the Mezam, and I was to come, and the bag is marked with 2 X's.
Yes, you tell the elements of Semi that you can get green nuts.
Yes.
You have the contact and you're communicating with the person.
Yes, sir.
So you can help the government to do that.
Absolutely.
So this guy was contacted from social media, sent money by Kingston. He went and picked up weapons from Bamenda, transported those weapons, delivered the weapons in Douala, and those weapons were picked up by other Ambazonian fighters. He has never met the Kingston. He has never met the people who dropped the weapons. He has never met the people who delivered the weapon. This is how easy it is for us to carry operations. From here in my house, I can organize operations down there effectively. Why? Because we represent our population's desire for freedom. What we are doing is not an isolated thing, it is something that represents the collective will. So there are thousands of our people, such as this Njifanji, who has been arrested. Thousands of them who contacts me. I mean, my own personal experience, because there are other activists on a day-to-day basis volunteering to take actions. They are willing to take risk. Some motivated by money, but majority motivated by our suffering, by our problems of being disrespected by the Cameroon people, the Francophones, with their experience in Yaoundé, being treated as second-class citizens, because it is a trigger-down effect. When the government dismisses our history, disregards our agreement that we had before we come into the union, the population feel aggrieved and they want to act upon it. And when they listen also to our messages, they are emboldened and they believe in us and they are willing to take risks to carry operation like this, including people within the Cameroon military, including people who are civil servants who experience the problems that we are raising. They are also willing to take actions. So this is an example for the Cameroonian government to know that we have the capacity to do real damage. It is just that we have a lot of stupid people in our struggle that have been taken advantage of. So that's why I always talk about these things on social media, that we have to be very careful how we allow people to operate. I will get to that one later, but let's watch the video.
Mr. Njasanji, I want to confess that I am guilty of coming to Douala to pick up arms to go to Yaoundé so that me and some Amber boys can kill some gendarmes.
So this part of the story does not look true to me. He says that I think he was arrested because he went to Douala to pick up weapons. Probably this one was an entrapment. He went to pick up weapons to deliver it. Maybe it was an entrapment. Maybe he went to pick up real weapons and he was arrested. But he went to Douala this time to pick up weapons and he was arrested, and they are making him to confess that his intention was to take it to join Ambazonian fighters to carry out attack. But based on his initial statement, it is not plausible that this is somebody who can carry out attack. He's just somebody who can pick weapons. They probably just want to seal his fate by forcing him to make those declarations based on my own assessment. But let's watch it.
I was encouraged by the Kingston Jackson. I was encouraged by him to do missions. And so I came to Douala. This is my second time, my second mission. I came to Douala to pick up some weapons, and after that we will go back to Yaoundé. He would get in touch with some Ambas from different parts, maybe some from Douala, and we will go do a mission in Yaoundé, or some missions in Yaoundé, to kill some gendarmes.
Yes, so una remember.
So from that statement, the guy is saying that their mission was go to kill some gendarmes. So you can guess for yourself. So now let us hear Kunda Titus, how he used this video. It was a response to the evidence that I put of Cameroon military supplying weapons to our Ambazonian fighters. He didn't come to challenge what I said because the evidence was irrefutable, but he came up with this video. And I will use that opportunity also to educate our people and also to speak to the Cameroon government, because they obviously watch us, what we are doing, they analyze what we are doing. And based on those interactions, I'm doing this. So I'll play his pardon me, I'm just a human being like everybody else. So I'm going to play what the Kunda Titus try to spin so that we can address it head on for our people to hear. But what he says is very important because he is a very influential person. This is somebody who affects the Cameroon military conduct, directs most of their operations, and empower them to give them moral boost. So let's listen to him.
Njasanji, yes, we capture ye for 2019 just before the Grand National Dialogue. Ye mission Ibibina for can take weapons them from Douala.
My name is Njasanji. Today.
So now somehow the Kunda Titus want people to believe that this Njasanji was supposed to go and attack people in the Grand National Dialogue. The initial video that we all saw with a different background, which looks more real, was like when during the period when he was arrested, he confessed of two things. He picked up a weapon in Bamenda, delivered it successfully. He was supposed to pick up weapons in Douala, that is when he was arrested. The first operations he did, it was carrying those weapons and deposit them. That means he's just a carrier. The second one, they tried to tell him to probably say that he was planning to carry out an operation, but he doesn't look like a combatant. He's a well-spoken, educated person. Probably he's just a carrier. So now Kunda Titus, after that first video, probably to push his own narrative or his own propaganda, because what they do in the DDR and most of the people that have volunteered themselves to help the Cameroon government to fight against their own people's aspiration, like Atangan Jipo, Felix Mbayu, all of these people, what they do is that they twist stories, feed the Cameroon leadership with false impression, false narrative of what is happening. And you know, the Bulu Beti people are so glutton with a lot of money that they don't have time even to process intelligence, and they take such things to face value without having the time to know the truth. Now they have opportunity because they hear from me directly. They talk to me directly. So they know the truth now about what is actually happening. So this is now a stage thing by Kunda Titus, where they have come in now to choreograph their own, justify their own position, justify their own lies, justify their own stories that they are telling Paul Biya to maintain this war. This is their own spin now. Obviously, you will see the difference between this second video and the first one. Let's listen.
Is September 29, 2019. I have been financed by Werner Franklin to commit acts of terrorism in Cameroon.
So now you can clearly see that the person is now being used by Kunda Titus to set up Ambazonian activists like Vela Franklin in abroad, making claim that he was sent by Vela Franklin to go and carry weapons, to carry out what? Terrorism. We know that we are all against terrorism. Terrorism is attacking civilians, terrorizing them for the purpose of a political objective, which is something I have repeatedly over my 1,000 podcasts reject and refuse that it is a wrong thing. Yes, we have some Ambazonian leaders who in their zeal or frustration have even promoted outright terrorism. That one we know for sure. But we know that this is a fake evidence trying to implicate Vela Franklin. And that is what Kunda Titus, that is what Nsalai, they do. They make up fake stories. They torture people, intimidate people to make false stories, to implicate the Ambazonian activists, and to even present a false image about Ambazonian activists to the Cameroon government. Of course, the Cameroon government wants to listen to whatever they want, but they are the ones responsible for creating this scenario. They have create fake Facebook page to present this type of image, and the effect, they don't care about the effect. The effect is that the people who are illiterate, they watch some of their things, and they are affected in a negative way that comes to kill people. So, but let's watch what he is now saying, and we'll go ahead.
I was also financed by Carl Kia in Nigeria, and I was financed by another man, two men that I've never met. I've never met all of them, but some have given me cash, two have given me cash through other people, and I was supposed to disrupt the national dialogue. I have been caught. I told the Cameroon government where the other two bombs were in my house, and it is in their keeping now. And I am working with them, trying to work with them to stop any more terrorist actions.
So definitely, this is now a case of the Kunda Titus, the Salai, the people now who are now the bosses who have been given money to fight this war, using this man to go probably against their political enemy. You hear he mentioned the name of somebody who is in Nigeria, claiming that those people, they gave him bombs that are now found in his house. This is somebody who was just a carrier, as you can judge from the first video, who probably have nothing to experience in using arms or let alone creating bomb. Somehow they are coming now with the second video, him saying that bombs are in his house. Probably they have put bombs in his house and go there and take those bombs and bring them as evidence to use against people who were in Nigeria, to deceive probably the Nigerian government as well. Also to deceive the Cameroon government that Ambazonians were trying to fight against the Grand National Dialogue with weapons. That means to go out there and carry bullet where you have dignitaries. The American ambassador was there. All those people were there. They want to show now that Ambazonia were trying to do that stupid things. Ambazonians are not evil people. Southern Cameroonians can never do that. There was no plan for anybody to attack the Grand National Dialogue. The only attack against the Grand National Dialogue were critiques, people condemning it and calling it out for what it was, which even Maurice Kamto and other political parties in Cameroon were doing the same thing, including some CPDM members. So these are the people that are creating the chaos that we have. Going to bring somebody in their custody, using the person to lie and make up stories about people that they want to go after. I think Bella Franklin was just used to legitimize that it was an Ambazonian issue, but probably the real people they were after were somebody who's in Nigeria, whose name they have mentioned is probably somebody who's arguing with Kunda Titus online or have a problem with some CPD and people who are in charge of this DDR, and they want to eliminate that person. They are now creating this story of terrorism, creating a file against him to go and pick up an innocent person. So these are not credible things that Kunda Titus and the rest are doing. So what Atangan Paul is doing is wrong, is immoral, is criminal in nature. To fabricate crimes like this, fabricate evidence like this, can only be done by somebody who have no dignity, no honor at all. But let us hear the rest part of it.
For go shoot people then for Grand National Dialogue for Yaoundé, for disrupt the event. How would you intercept and we apprehend it? Now say, I be create a fake profile for Facebook called Tapang Ivo. And instead for you, for go talk to Tapang Ivo, it be talk now to me instead. So what me I do? So if you want assistance, financial and weapons then, for go disrupt the Grand National Dialogue. So this terrorist, if you want, so this terrorist in Jasangji,
so even the Kunda Titus, it talk, it is stam. Because when you lie, it is obvious that he is lying. This is just a made up story. Now coming with him, taking a real human being, probably who have been arrested by the Cameroon military for trying to transport weapons from Douala. Now him coming there, probably involved in them torturing this person into making false confession or threatening this person to make false confession. Now coming with his own narrative that Ambazonian fighters, without any evidence, that he created a fake Facebook page called Tapang Ivo and was communicating with this individual. We know that Kunda Titus, with the very nature of what he does, he could have brought the Facebook page as he always does. Maybe he has it, maybe he hasn't. But he could have shown his conversation with this particular man, stating the things that he said that this man was planning to do. So this is what they do, this type of propaganda. But one thing we have to know for sure is that the Kunda Titus have created a lot of fake Facebook page. They try to mimic us, try to clone our accounts. They have created Capo Daniel, Akwanga, everybody in this struggle in order to deceive people like this. And that is the problem we have in this our struggle, where we have people in Ambazonia, they think that by associating people with Kunda Titus, by saying that their political opponent or people who have differences in them in opinion are working with the Cameroonian government, they are somehow helping them. Sako Ikome even created a group called the Blue and White Army. A lot of people who are following him, they trust him, he put them in this group with the sole purpose of tarnishing the image of other Ambazonian leaders. And what they do is that they go to collect those fake statements made by those clone Facebook page that was produced by Kunda Titus, and then they will share it and say that these are the real thing that Capo Daniel is saying. Look at what Ayabacho is saying. Look at what Capo Daniel is saying. Helping Kunda Titus to deceive our people. People who are volunteers on the ground. When they go to Vela Franklin, and now you see Ayabacho, his people are doing it with this fool that he called himself Spartan in America. They go and they take Kunda Titus fake pages that are trying to mimic me, saying stupid things, convincing people that that is true, and those are verified Facebook pages. What happened is that people who are volunteers on the ground take their comments to be true and start communicating with the enemy, thinking they are communicating with our legitimate pages. Because they are so coward, they don't have any argument to make. Instead of them staying quiet, they go and promote false pages that have been produced by the enemy because they want to tag people as blackleg. This one is saying things that he's not saying, including this pa that they call Asongo. This pa that I choose and send to Geneva to go and speak on my behalf. He came back, write a statement that I said that I don't want to negotiate with Cameroon. Just lying like that. People who lie like that, they don't even know the consequences of their statements. They are irresponsible and evil. Because when you lie like that, somebody who have trusted, who have belief in you, will take it for face value and may go and attack somebody, may even start to follow the enemy without knowing, and at the end of the day, you may cause the death of people without even knowing, just by lying. So we have to be careful and call out these people who misrepresent people, who twist people's language, who work for the enemy basically by doing that. So let's watch the video.
Want money and weapons and assistance for go shoot out the Grand National Dialogue, for disrupt the event. So what do you think I did? You think I denied for giving the assistance? No. You think I denied for communicating with you? No, that's stupid. What do I do now? Say I engage you. I tell you, say yes. That's a fantastic idea. I get bullets, I get guns. I show plus videos. I tell Agent Chukuchuku, go for Janamare, collect guns them 5 or 6 AK, put them for down, record video, send them for me. Record video with bullets inside bucket, inside bag, send them for me. He record those things and send them for me. I send them from Chasangji, tell you say that the bullets and this and the weapons and this, the day for Douala, they wait, you can't collect them. He come up for Yaoundé, if you don't really make 2 bombs, keep them for your house for a Tugebe, if I'm not mistaken. If you don't make bombs, them keep them for your house for go disrupt the Grand National Dialogue and for blow up SCDP. That was his plan. So what will happen? I say, it come now for Douala.
So this is probably for Kunda Titus to go and take money from SCBC, probably. Lying that they were planning to bomb that place, lying that there were 2 bombs in the house of this man. These were all those stories that they made up to go and deceive the Cameroon government to take money. That this man wanted to bomb the house, wanted to go and kill people. Ambazonian, yeah, we know that some people in the Ambazonian struggle, like Ayabacho, definitely can be compared to the Taliban. But we have never seen a case where Ambazonian groups deliberately plan terrorist attack in that scale to go and launch attack in the Grand National Dialogue. It's just a fake story. So Kunda Titus come to lie that he planned an operation, an undercover operation, to entrap this guy to go and pick up weapons. There is no evidence that he did that through his fake Facebook page. While it is true that Kunda Titus create fake Facebook page that lose Ambazonia, because I've seen some of those things, they have tried to trick me into believing in some of those things. And that is why we need people who are competent, who understand how things work in this struggle. But most unfortunately, our people don't understand. Sometimes people contact people and say, oh, I'm fighters. They stand behind them like they're a group on the ground. They are really not a group. So we have mechanism to vet people that comes to us. We have ways to separate them in ways that we can be like a center command to be able to liaise for security purposes. We are competent in all that. So what Kunda Titus, even though they are creating fake Facebook page, they have entrapped many Ambazonians and picked them up in this manner, but not in this case. And that is why many of our people are falling to those traps. Sometimes boys will call you to give you fake information to affect your credibility. Sometimes they will call to make up story. We know all those things, but they are not effective, because the bottom line is there are many thousand genuine Ambazonians who are capable of defending our interests, as we have seen. And this guy is actually one of the examples that shows that a lot of regular, well-educated people are willing, are engaged in this struggle.
can't collect the guns and the ammunition for go execute that mission. Now for them now, we catch them. You understand? Now sense, war na sense, no be power.
So, war indeed na sense. And sense and wisdom means standing for the truth. The truth of the matter is that our people did not come into the union with Cameroon to be marginalized or be treated as second-class citizens, or for those Cameroon to be merged in a way it has been merged under one centralized government that is brutal in its outlook. That is the truth. And that is how you can win a war, by standing on the truth. Our people deserve to preserve their cultural identity, their territorial integrity, as it is. It is a legal entity that is recognized by international law. That is the truth. Our boys who pick up weapons responded to Cameroon's brutal actions against the consortium of lawyers, teachers, syndicates that came together to represent our collective desire. That is the truth. The truth of the matter is that from the beginning, Kunda Titus have tried to infiltrate Ambazonian fighters to turn them into barbarians so that he can tarnish their image in order to subdue a legitimate aspiration of our people, which the Cameroon government itself today have conceded that we are a unique people by offering this their grand national, this their special status, which we do not agree that is the proper solution. But that is testimony of the fact that the cause is genuine, the cause is right, and the right thing to do is for Cameroon government to come down its high horse and stop listening to people like Kunda Titus and stop trying to appease them, because the Cameroon government, to be honest with you people, take these guys' actions and their credit to what he has been doing to an extent that they are deciding to go things in a certain manner because of him. So it's very consequential. We have to admit that. Now, my message to everybody in Cameroon is that there is time for everything. There is time for war and there is time for peace. We pick up weapons to fight against Cameroon government to protect our interests. Every citizen in the world have that right to defend their interests. It is a human right recognized by international law that when the government itself becomes a problem, people can create militias to defend themselves against the brutality and the tyranny of the state. The Cameroon government have made its own mistake. They have admitted the mistake. We have fought and people have died because of that mistake. The Cameroon government of assimilation and trying to incorporate Southern Cameroon into their system, which was not part of the agreement when we came into this union. And we now know that it was an understanding, but not part of the agreement. That is not what our people were told. That is not what it was campaigned upon. Yes, there was a campaign for union with Cameroon, but there was a promise made that we are going to preserve our territorial integrity and our identity. Even though our leaders like Jongo Foncha had backdoor conversation with Cameroon about integration, it was never a plan. Jongo Foncha himself did not stand for what is going on in Cameroon. That is why he resigned from the CPDM. The right thing to do is not to maintain the war machine. The right thing to do is for the both sides to come together and sit down and work out a new social contract so that Cameroonians can live in harmony, vivo and sound, in prosperity for a brighter future, and our people given a chance somehow to express that self-determination, to accept the new reality, and to preserve the option for them to choose their freedom in the future. That is what I stand for. That is what the People's Right Advocative Platform stands for, a non-violent approach to the right of self-determination. And we are assuring our people that this is not a naive move. This is a move that is tailored to meet the realities that we face as a people. This is the only way we can succeed, to engage with the Cameroon state directly in a respectful manner, in an honest manner, to also admit our own shortcomings and to reverse some of the propaganda which we use for wartime purposes so that we can make peace to happen. There is no alternative. There is no other way we can get Cameroon to the negotiation table. There is no other way. This is the only way. It's not by force. It's not by power. It's going to be by the truth, by appealing to that common sense that we have, that we are all share a common history as Cameroonians. And our vision is for one country, two people. It is time for us to end this war of shame. And there are people who benefit from the war, which is now obvious, who do not want the war to come to an end. The Ambazonian fighters have become people that have been controlled by economic operators like General JC, who lives in a hotel building house that is known by his commander in Ayabacho. People who were willing to carry out execution out of their frustration have taken over and dominated this war. It is not acceptable in our side, and it is not acceptable in the Cameroon side. Trust me. That's why Moja Moja is in prison today. If you need any evidence, look at Moja Moja. Yes, Ngala Gerard may have escaped a little bit, but he is not out of it yet, and he will pay for his crime. You remember what happened in Cambe, where Kunda Titus guys were against the Cameroon military who was tracking them down, because he then knew the activities, and everybody is obviously know what Kunda Titus have been doing. It is time for us to stop people like Kunda Titus propaganda. Ayabacho is in prison. The hardliners from both sides who have become intoxicated and choking with money from people's blood. It's time to put an end to those things. All of us must come together. Cameroonians must embrace themselves back. Those who have made this problem a problem between Anglophone and Francophone and make it uncomfortable for us to even have dialogue. It's time for us to have common sense. It's time for us to appeal to the humanity in ourselves, to engage in proper conversation. For the past 2 years, I have led those engagements, and it has been fruitful. No villages have been burned since I resigned from the ADF, since I created PRAP, and we come and embrace this idea of a return to one country, two people, that gives our people a chance to vote in the future in a referendum to reaffirm their stance. Since I came to change the narrative to accept the reality of international law, things have changed. That shows you that things can change even better. We have come up with our vision for peace, the peace plan paper, which is a vision that I had coming from Canada based on our experience in this struggle and the aspiration of our people and the will and desire of our people. We have done the work of real activism, which is going down there, talking to our people, talking to soldiers, talking to our community leaders, giving them the microphone to express themselves, and they have said that they want to go back home. Our people want to go home. If you represent our people, you seek to represent them in an Ambazonian capacity or whatever capacity, we should agree that our people's will should be respected. We have demonstrated what they want. They want to go back home. They want to see a negotiated settlement. That is what they want. They have refused any unilateral decision imposed on them by the Cameroon government. What Kunda Titus, Atangandipo wants to have absolute military victory will not work. It will never work. In Bongaville, a similar situation happened where the government thought that they would have total victory. The rebels came back even more organized, more disciplined than before. That is not what we envisage in Cameroon. We are honestly believing that the goodwill that we have seen in the leadership of Cameroon will continue. We do believe that. There are all signs that it is continuing, even though at a slower pace. But we will have to address everybody, have a conversation with everybody to make that happen. God bless you. Have a wonderful day ahead of you.